Hello students, today I Sudeep Yadav is here with second chapter of class 10th part first and chapter name is acids, bases and salts. So let's start introduction. With the introduction we are going to start this chapter and what is the acid? So let's see. The word acid is derived from the Latin word that is acidus, which means sour. All acids, all acid elements have, all acidic substances have a few things in common. That is, all are sour in taste. They turn blue litmus paper to red and lose their acidity if they are combined with alkaline substances. The pH level of acid ranges from 0 to 6. So this was the introduction for the acid. Now the theory. The Arrhenius theory. According to Arrhenius, the Arrhenius theory of acids and bases was originally proposed by the Swedish chemist Svante Arrhenius in 1884. He suggested classifying certain compounds as acids or bases based on what kind of ions formed when the compound was added to water. So let's see, according to Arrhenius, what will be the definition of an acid? So according to Arrhenius theory, acid is the substance that gives H positive ions or hydronium ions on dissolving in the aqueous solution, means that is water solution. It increases the concentration of H positive ions in the solution. For example, let's see example, hydrochloric acid. In the water, HCl undergoes dissociation reaction to produce H positive ion and chlorine negative ion. As explained below, the concentration of the H positive ion is increased by forming hydronium ion. So let's see the equation. In this equation we can see there is a HCl and HCl has dissolved inside the water and it has converted into S positive and Cl negative ion. And you can also mention this equation as like HCl when react with when dissolved inside the water, you will be get hydronium ion and chlorine negative ion. Now next, Arrhenius, other examples of Arrhenius acids are listed below. You can see here, that is the nitric acid, and when you will be dissolve the nitric acid, you will be get one hydronium ion and nitrate anion. In this reaction, nitric acid dissolves in aqueous water to give hydrogen and nitrate ions. So this is the another example of the Arrhenius acid. So let's see here more Arrhenius acids example, that is hydrochloric acid as we have discussed already, and nitric acid, that is we have already discussed, sulfuric acid. So when you will be dissolve sulfuric acid in water, you will be get 2 hydronium ion and sulfate anion. Similarly, in case of the phosphoric acid, when you will be dissolve phosphoric acid in water, you will be get 3 hydronium ion and phosphate anion. Next, carbonic acid. Here you also be get 2 hydronium ion and carbonate anion. Next, acetic acid. Here you also be get 1 hydronium ion and another with the acetate anion. So let's see the mechanism how it's going on. Okay, so when you are dissolving, here we have to understand, when you are dissolving acid, inside the water, okay, So what will going on there? So if you are dissolving acid inside the water, you will be get H positive ion, and this H positive ion is highly unstable species. So it want to be get stability. Okay, so how it will be get stability? As we know that inside the water molecule there is a water molecule is given, and in this water molecule you can see here there's a two non-bonding lone pair electrons. Okay, so these two non-bonding lone pair electrons from one out of from two, there is a one pair of the non-bonding electron will attract this hydrogen ion towards it. Okay, and this will form a bond with the H positive ion. So by this process, this H positive ions will get hydronium. This will get stability in the form of the hydronium ion. So this is the mechanism by which the hydronium ion is forming inside the water. Now next, limitation of Arrhenius theory. What are the limitations of the Arrhenius theory? We have to discuss. The Arrhenius theory is limited in that it can only describe acid base chemistry in aqueous solution. So this is the very big problem, that if we are discussing acid and base concept according to Arrhenius, we can mention only aqueous solution. So next we have to see that is similar reactions can also be occur in non-aqueous solvents also. Okay, however, as well as between molecules in the gas phase also. So this is the limitation of the Arrhenius theory. Next, let's see properties of acids. What are the properties of acids? The properties of acids are as follows. Number first, acids are sour or tart in taste, as we have learned in previous classes already. Next point, the pH level of acids range from 0 to 6. Acids lose their acidity when combined with alkalines. They destroy the chemical property of bases. And fifth point, most acids are corrosive in nature, which means that they tend to corrode or rust metals. Now next point that is very important, that is the classification of acids. So acids are often classified on the basis of source, the presence of oxygen, strength, concentration and basicity. So these all are the criteria. On the basis of these criteria we can classify acids. So number first, classification based on the source. So here we will classify acids on the basis of the source. So this means that the acid is classified on the basis of their source or origin. They are mainly of two types. Number first, organic acid, and second one is a mineral acid. So organic acid. Organic acid means this is the acid obtained from the organic materials such as plants and animals. Means whatever substances are existing in the nature. So these all substances we can consider as a organic substances, like the plants and the animals. Okay, so these are the organic substances. For example, citric acid, and citric acid we are getting from the citrus fruits. Next, acetic acid. Acetic acid we are getting from the vinegar. And next one is the oleic acid, and oleic acid we are getting from the olive oil. So these all are the examples of the organic acids. Now next, mineral acids. Mineral acid is procured from minerals. They are also known as inorganic acids. They do not contain carbon. This is also another important fact, that here we will not get carbon. Okay, For example, sulfuric acid, HCl, HNO3. That is the sulfuric acid is sulfuric acid, H2SO4, HCl, hydrochloric acid, and HNO3 is nitric acid. So here you can see there is no any carbon atom. Okay, so means these all acids are the mineral acids. Now next, classification based on the presence of oxygen. So let's see. This means that the acids are classified on the basis of the presence of oxygen. These are of two types. Number first, oxy acid and hydra acids. So this is the classification on the basis of presence of oxygen. So number first, that is oxy acid. Acids that consist oxygen in their composition is known as oxy acids. For example, sulfuric acid, nitric acid. So here you can see there is a oxygen is existing. Oxygen is a part of the acidic molecules. Okay, so these are the oxy acids. Next, hydra acid. So those that consist hydrogen combined with other elements and do not contain any oxygen in their composition and do not contain any oxygen in their composition are called hydra acids. For example, hydrochloric acid, hydroiodide acid, and hydrogen bromic acid. So these all are the acids. Here you are not getting any oxygen atom as a part of its molecule. Now next classification, that is classification based on the strength of the acid. Acids produced hydrogen ions when mixed with water. The strength of an acid depends on its concentration of the hydrogen ions present in solution. A greater number of hydrogen ions means greater strength of the acid increases, whereas lower number of hydrogen ions means that the acid is weak. They are classified as, you can see here, there is a strong acid and strong acid. Let's discuss first on strong acid. An acid which can be dissociated completely or almost completely in water is known as strong acid. For example, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, hydrochloric acid. So here you can see hydrochloric acid has dissociated into S positive and Cl negative. Okay, in aqueous solution. And in the second equation you can clearly see that HCl, this is the aqueous and it has dissolved inside the water, means the aqueous solution of the HCl. And what will be the particles will exist in the aqueous solution of HCl. These will be dissociate into hydronium ion and one will be the chlorine anion. Okay, so this is the reaction. Now second, here we are also dissolving sulfuric acid inside the water and we are getting 2 hydronium ion and sulfate anion. Okay, so here if we say that these are the strong acid, so you can say that if any substance, if any acid on dissolving inside the water and it is completely dissociating into their respective ions, means these are the strong acid. Suppose we have taken the sulfuric acids 100 molecules, okay, and dissolved it inside the water, so we will get 100% ionization of the sulfuric acid into its respective ions. So this will happen only with the strong acids. Means you can also mention an important thing that in case of the strong acid, only you will be get only and only ions. No molecules will be exist in the aqueous solution of the acid in case of strong acids. Now weak acid. An acid which does not dissociate completely, means if you have taken 100 molecules of an acid which is a weak acid, so it will dissociate only 2 to 3% inside the water. So means this is the weak acid. So an acid which does not dissociate completely or dissociate negligibly in water is known as a weak acid. For example, those that which we usually consume on daily basis, like the citric acid, acetic acid, formic acid. So these all acid we can consider as a weak acid, because when you will be dissolve them inside the water, you will be get only 2 to 3% their its ionization. So this is the big difference in between the strong acid and the weak acid. And you can also say that in case of weak acid, you will be get ions as well as molecules. But in case of the strong acids, you will be get only and only ions. So this is the difference in between the weak acid and the strong acid. Now classification based on its concentration. As we have studied above, the concentration of the acid depends on the number of hydrogen ions that it produces in water. Based on this, the acid is classified as, number first, concentrated acid. So when an aqueous solution has a relatively high percentage of acid dissolved in it, then it is concentrated acid. For example, concentrated hydrochloric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid, concentrated nitric acid. So if you are forming a solution with 100 ml water and you have taken 35% of acid inside the water, so means this is the concentrated solution. So if the acid percentage will increase, so means the concentration of the acid will increase. Okay, so this is the relation in the concentration of acid, concentrated acid. Now diluted acid. When an aqueous solution has a relatively low percentage of the acid dissolved in it, then it is dilute acid. For example, dilute hydrochloric acid, dilute sulfuric acid, dilute nitric acid, etc. So let's explain. I have to explain it. That is, if you are having a 95% water and only 5% acid, so this is the dilute solution. This is the dilute acid. This is the diluted acid. Okay. So means the percentage of the acid will be very less is as in comparison to the water. Okay. So this kind of the acid is known as a diluted acid. Now next, let's see classification based on the basicity of the acid. Acid on dissociation in water produces hydrogen ion. The number of these hydrogen ions that can be replaced in an acid is the basicity of an acid. So we can say the basicity of acid is dependent on the hydrogen number in the molecule. Okay, so let's see what are the types of the what are the categories of the acid in the on the basis of basicity. Number first, that is the monobasic acid. Those acids which when dissolved in water produces only one hydronium ion per molecules of the acid are called as monobasic acids. For example, hydrochloric acid, hydrogen fluoride acid, hydrogen fluoride, acetic acid and formic acid. So here you can clearly see that there is a HCl and HCl having only one hydrogen. So here we will get only one hydronium ion and one chlorine anion. Means this is the monobasic, because if you are getting one hydronium ion on dissolving any acid inside the water, so this kind of the acid we can consider as a monobasic acid. Second, that is dibasic acid. Dibasic acids, those acids which when dissolved in water produces the two hydronium ions per molecules of the acids are called as diabasic acids. So, for example, let's see sulfuric acid, carbonic acid and phosphorus acid. So here you can see there is sulfuric acid when you are dissolving inside the water in the first step. Okay, this is the first step and you are getting one hydronium ion because here only one hydrogen has replaced in the first step. Okay, and HSO4 negative anion. And when you will be when it will be redissociate into the water, like you can see in the second step, that is HSO4 negative plus water, so you will be get another hydronium ion and sulfate 2 negative anion. So this reaction will complete into the two steps. In the first step here one hydrogen has replaced, okay, and in the second step here is the second hydrogen has replaced and it is converted into the sulfate 2 negative anion and one hydronium ion is formed. Now tribasic acid. Those acids which when dissolved in water produces the 3 hydronium ions per molecules of the acids are called as tribasic acids. For example, phosphoric acid and citric acid, both are the tribasic acids. Let's see the step by step reaction we have to be see here. Okay, so number first, here is a phosphoric acid formula plus water when you are dissolving phosphoric acid inside the water. Okay, so you will be get in the first step you will be get only one hydronium ion because here only one hydrogen has replaced from the phosphoric acid. Okay, and remaining will be the anion, that is the H2PO4 anion. In the second step, this H2PO4 anion when further dissociate inside the water, we will be get another hydronium ion, that is the second hydronium ion and HPO4 2 negative anion. And this HPO4 2 negative ion will further dissociate inside the water and you will be get third one hydronium ion and phosphate anion. So this reaction, this dissociation of the acid will complete into the 3 steps. Okay, so this is the tribasic acid. And why we are saying this is the tribasic acid? Because we are getting here 3 hydronium ion in the 3 different steps. So this is the classification of the acids. I hope you must have enjoyed this video. Thank you students. We will meet in another video and in that video we will classify the base. Thank you.